My name is Josh Gottry. Welcome to today's weekly lesson. Today we're going to talk about snare drum and more specifically just about stroke and technique and grip and ways that you can get the best sound out of the drum regardless of what you're playing. As you can imagine, playing the snare drum has less to do with the snare drum and more to do with the sticks and how you're holding the stick. We as percussionists don't have the opportunity to physically touch the instrument we're playing most of the time, and so the implement between us and the instrument and how we hold that instrument, hold that implement becomes of critical importance. So a couple of basics, and then we'll get into the stroke and really listening to the sound and what we're trying to draw out of the drum. First of all, the grip. The primary focus of the grip is the fulcrum, the pivot point for the stick, and that usually happens right there between the thumb and the first finger. And you want to find a way to make sure that those parts of your hand are directly opposite each other on the stick, and usually about 2/3 of the way down the stick from the tip. And then the rest of the fingers should wrap loosely around the stick. Again, not squeezing, but just loosely around the stick enough to control the motion of that stick. So both hands, fulcrum, first finger and thumb, about 2/3 of the way down the stick, and then the rest of the fingers loosely wrapped around the stick to control its motion from the back. Once you've got that, at least you've got the stick in the right place in your hand. As far as the position of the hands towards the drum, we want to make sure that we have approximately a 90-degree angle between the sticks. That puts our hands in best position and allows us to use a similar motion with both hands. Whatever we do, regardless of if that angle narrows or widens, we want to make sure that both hands look the same. If we have one hand that's very close to the body and one hand further away, inevitably we're going to get a different stroke and thereby a different sound. So we want to be very consistent, but if you shoot for about a 90-degree angle, that's going to give you your best hand position. Allow the back of the hand to face mostly up and allow both hands to look the same. When you approach the drum, you don't want to play right in the center of the drum. That's going to be a dead spot. You also don't want to play too close to the edge where you get a lot of the ring and the overtones of the head. Instead, play just a little bit past center, away from your body. The reason past center as opposed to nearer to you from center is that past center allows the angle of the stick to be as flat as possible. The closer you come to you, the more you have to angle the stick up to avoid hitting the rim, and the more angled the stick, the less direct the impact of the stick on the drum, and so the less fullness of sound and the less rebound we get from the stroke as well. So we want to make sure we're just a little past center when we're striking the drum. Again, with the sticks as flat as possible, good fulcrum point between the thumb and first finger, rest of the fingers loosely wrapped around the stick. Okay, so you've got your position, you've got your stick in your hand. Now you want to think about the stroke. Now, one of the reasons we loosely grip the stick and we don't tightly grip the stick is we don't just want the drum to resonate, we also want the stick to resonate. So sticks are, in most cases wood, and they do have a pitch. A good pair of sticks, both sticks will have the same pitch. Okay, and that has to do with making sure that the density of wood and the weighting of the stick is the same. Most sticks are sold today in pairs that are pitch matched so that you get the same sound from both sticks, because that pitch of the stick, if held loosely, will resonate from the head. Okay, so I have the snare off right now. I'm just going to play a few strokes, first with my grip loosely held in those back fingers, fulcrum correctly placed. You're getting resonance of the head, but you're also getting a little bit of resonance of the stick. If we close the stick, the fingers a little tighter on the stick, we'll actually get a choked sound, and we lose the resonance of the stick, and so by nature we actually lose the resonance of our sound overall on the drum. So we're going to play a nice relaxed grip that allows the stick to resonate as well as the head, and gets us a nice big full sound regardless of what happens. Now, 90% of our motion is down. The head will control the up stroke. All we have to do is make sure that we manage that upstroke. It'll provide the propulsion to get the stick back up. All we have to do is make sure that we relax and allow that to happen and control the stick to make sure the path is consistent. So as you play the drum, what you want to think about is almost like dribbling a basketball. You throw the stick down and allow it to rebound itself back up. You just control the path. All I'm thinking about is throwing that stick down, letting it come back up, throwing that stick down, letting it come back up. The stick always remains in contact with those back fingers. I'm not going to loosen that and just play this way because I lose control. I also, again, don't want to squeeze tight and control both the up and the down stroke. That takes a lot more work and reduces our speed and reduces the fullness of sound we're getting out of the drum. So we want to make sure that that stroke is relaxed and allowed to rebound fully. Okay, now whatever you practice with your right hand or dominant hand, you should also practice with your left hand or weaker hand. If anything, you should practice with that hand more because it is your weaker hand. It is the one that you need the most extra practice to make that motion comfortable and relaxed. As soon as you get both hands comfortable individually, you want to, of course, incorporate both hands, alternating strokes or unison strokes to make sure they're doing the same thing. So one way is to play double stops with both sticks and really watch to make sure the motion is identical with both hands. And then alternating strokes, same thing, looking to make sure both sticks are moving in the same way, both hands are gripping in the same way, and the motion feels and looks the same. I'm just using a nice full stroke, probably what would be considered a forte volume or at least a strong mezzo forte volume, just to allow all inhibitions to get out of the way. I'm just allowing the stick to rebound fully, allowing my motion to be full so I can really notice any slight discrepancies because I've got a big motion with which to examine. As you get more comfortable, we want to try all these same strokes even at a soft volume. Now, soft does not mean gentle. Soft does not mean tentative. Soft does not mean timid. Soft means soft. Still a full, confident stroke, but at a lower stick height to create a softer sound. So we don't want to play delicate, or we're trying not to hit the head. We want to play with the same fullness of stroke, but play with a smaller stroke. Motion, all of the stroke weight, all of the stroke rebound is kept the same regardless of how loud or how soft you play to make sure that you have a consistent quality of sound regardless of the dynamic incorporated. There's just a few tidbits to get you started. Hope that helps. One great book for working on basic stroke motion and repetitive passages to develop this technique is Stick Control by George Lawrence Stone. I highly recommend it. Great book for working technique and getting these sort of things in line with a repetitive pattern to really be able to focus on these details. Good luck.